Testing, testing. All right. I don't even know why my mic turns off sometimes. Hmm. I mean, I can see what it looks like, but isn't that some shit? But this is. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I mean, it seems like the Bears are back in business, but I mean, they don't hold nothing. So, um, they don't hold anything. Hmm. I mean, you know the rule. So, Mm, I mean, I guess we could, but I mean, and it's not like it's not one of the levels that I was looking for. Mm. Yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah, I think it would be, and I think it probably will be. The market has just made some moves, and it's completed a lot of market objectives in less than a week. So, I mean, we took out highs, we took out lows, we took out last week's close. I think both sides of the market right now is exhausted because they've been buying and selling, and there's no clear direction of there's no clear direction where the market wants to go. It's obviously still bullish because I think people are just conditioned at this point to buy, especially with the last year that we've had. People are just buying this thing. But it's obvious that the bears are now because shit, the bears are getting drops now. And the bears never used to been able to get drops like these. I mean, they've been consistently getting the market to kind of go in their direction. So um, it's obvious that the market wants to find reasons to sell, but the market is still super bullish. So uh, I mean, I got a buy limit already set. I got a buy limit sitting in this range right here. This is where that gap down happened. They broke out above this range, and I think they're going to probably buy here. I think they'll buy here. If not, then I'll get stopped out, and this will be the next area of interest. That yeah, they might be actually holding this. Actually, they might actually hold this. We'll see. Now they're holding this range right here, so they might actually hold this thing. Hmm, 586. 694. Mm. So you're thinking about uh hmm. Honestly, this I think your long will probably work. You would just have to be quick on the draw of cutting it because I mean there's a lot that could get in the way. I mean, you do have all the EMAs sloping down. You do have the 200 EMA sloping down, lurking down. We'll see what happens at 605. It looks like 605 around, yeah, like 605. What is that? 611, 609. That might be. Let me see what that low is. That low is 609. I'm just gonna put a low thing for 609 right here. All right. Yeah, because 609 has been resistance. They dropped it, they popped it, they found support. They came back and found resistance. Mm. Yeah, and kind of we actually talked about that a couple of nights ago, crazy. kind of crazy. Uh, what I've found in this market is that yes, the market does move to liquidity, volume, but the market will hold areas regardless of the volume. And it took me a very long time to break myself out of that mindset, even though I know this to be true. I know this to be true because consistently the market shows that regardless of where the volume's at or how much volume is being traded, it's going to hold areas regardless of what time of day it is. It's going to hold. It's just that it's going to probably be slow to move, but it will hold. Let's actually look at the volume for tonight. Yeah, we're not really trading with I mean, this should be no surprise to nobody. We're not trading with any volume tonight. Um, got the MNQ trading with only 68,000 contracts right now. The ES and MES 39 and 27,000. With the NQ trading at 19. So hold on, guys. Give me a second. My daughter's just throwing a fit. Give me a second. All right. I apologize about that, guys. Daughters. Okay. All right. So, I guess we could see a move down. Like I said, I got my limit right here where they broke structure. I think around like 514, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, around like 515. Right in this range where they found resistance earlier. They broke out. They broke back down, and then they stopped ran. And I'm looking for a retest of this area. And I'm looking to get in here with one contract, 27-point stop. So this is going to go well below 500. My stop should be, so that's like 20. So around like 93ish where my stop should be at. If I'm doing the math right on this, which is honestly 488. So my stop will be at 488 right here. And this will definitely invalidate the trade if price gets all the way down there. That would invalidate the trade. Well, actually, I'm still willing to take the trade there. So if they don't hold this range, then 515. You got a high like here at 530. So I mean, 530 could be. I mean, you got the 200 EMA right here as well. 508 value area high, previous value area high right there. 200 EMA. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And I was actually looking for the ES to get back down into the 20s. I mean, it's almost there. I'm looking for the ES to get back into this range right here, where we saw this breakout higher. I got a limit sitting somewhere around here, around 28ish. Yeah, right there is where I got a limit sitting. Somewhere in this, because you really don't want it to come back to 20. You kind of want at least 27, somewhere in this area, this range right here, this small little range to hold. I don't want this to hold because this is where we got that breakout from. Yeah, that's where we got that breakout from. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we want price to come into this range right here and hold. Okay. I'm gonna get into the sim on this one. I'm getting into the sim. Take it short, why not? Hold on, where did I make that marking at? On which chart was that? Hmm. I'm not gonna lie, that does look super bearish. That is a nasty bearish candle right there. Hmm. All right, we'll see if it works. If it works out. Yeah, if we see a run, we will see the market run the stops underneath this range. Mm. All right, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Again, I took this trade in the sim just to have a trade on board. We'll see if we'll get a continuation right here. Oof. Yeah, that's where I want my stop, right above that candle. Because technically right now we are trending. Mm, I mean, it would be this one, right? Yeah, that is exactly. It wouldn't be this one. Mm, yeah, that trend channel doesn't look right. That does not look right. Because I mean, you can't draw it from here. I guess you can, but I mean that wouldn't make sense. And that would the only thing that would make sense. Drawing it from there. Yeah, that's not even a trend channel. That's not. Okay. Again, I took this trade in this just have a trade on the screen on the stream. That's it. But anyway, they actually do find support here. What I'm going to be looking for, actually, I just closed that trade. What I'm going to be looking for, let's say if they do hold this right here, they do hold this. I'm going to be looking for this candle to do something like this. I want to see a bullish engulfing candle trading, closing above that, and a nice follow up candle. That's what I want to see. I would actually long this. I would actually long that if I see that. Mm. Because that means that they're holding this range. Let me see if they got any news. Oh, yeah, that's already done. Okay. All right. It'll just be my luck. This thing missed me by like. mm. All right, so I guess today's just gonna be one of those nights. It's just definitely gonna be one of those nights. Price is not gonna do nothing. Mm. But we were here until 10 o'clock, so we're here until 10. Mm. What kind of world do we live in now? Mm. 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 So that's definitely going to be a level that I would look out for in the future. Around 5. Well, I think this is actually one of our levels for the NA meeting. 885, 880 to 885, I think. Yeah, I think this is a level to look out for. Or 885 to 90, I think. It's one of those two. Especially if we get it tomorrow. Okay, so this is what we got tomorrow. We have a lot of news coming in tomorrow. We have ISM services, and this is what the Fed said that they were. Powell himself said that he's going to keep an eye on, and so this should definitely we should definitely see a reaction around 9 o'clock. I mean, we're going to see a reaction around 9 o'clock, period, because of the 9 o'clock algo. But when we got the 9 o'clock algo, and then we have news as well, uh, we should definitely expect a lot of volatility. Last year, it was very easy. it was very easy. I mean, at the 9 o'clock algo, if you weren't long, you became liquidity. Now it's kind of a coin toss about which side it chooses to push in. Lately, we haven't been getting any reaction at the 9 o'clock algo, which is surprising to say the least. We have an algo at 9 o'clock, 12:30, and 2:50, and this is all Central Time. We have algos at those time frames where we just see a volatile push. Mm. We have ADP employment change tomorrow at 7:15. Goods and services, and then we have all the Fed speakers towards the end of the day. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Honestly, I probably might flip bullish. Well, mm, okay. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I think so too. Kind of crazy. Uh, this market has been somewhat exhausting. Um, it's been exhausting. Just waiting for that other shoe to drop is exhausting. Whether it be on the bull or bear side, is just you really don't get that on the ES. But I mean, if you trade the Nasdaq more, because I mean the ES is just going to chop until it decides which direction, and then it tells you what direction is going to go. Uh, Unlike the Nasdaq, will just straight go there. That is like one of the benefits if you're an ES trader. If you want an alternative instrument to trade, something that's less volatile, uh, obviously the ES would be the instrument for you. Because I mean, like I said, she tells you when she's going to make the direction. She breaks structure. She usually comes back, and they usually sell the retest. Unlike the Nasdaq, that will just straight up break structure and just keep going like this. I mean, this is kind of what she does. Or she'll break structure to the upside and it just keeps going, and there's no pullback. So I mean, if you're in this on the wrong side and you didn't stop out, well, there goes your account. But for whatever reason, I found myself right back here at the Nasdaq, and like I said, this price action is exhausting. because she'll make you feel like you're on the wrong side. She'll make you feel like you're on the wrong side of her. She'll start to do this right here. And it looks like, oh man, this is a short. So you'll get in short. And then she does this crap. And it's like, well, this looks like a long. But then the structure suggests that this thing is still going short. And regardless of the structure, sometimes the NASDAQ will do these little pumps like this just to trap in some bulls, just to come right back down. So you really have to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to trading the NASDAQ for sure. Understand where you are on the charts. I would highly doubt that we don't see this level tonight. This range. I highly doubt that we don't. Just like what kind of crazy stated, we might see that in London. I kind of expected in London. The question is, will the bulls hold this range? Because I mean, if they don't, we can see a really big move down from here. We can see a pullback back to, like I said, you can see a pullback back down into this range, which is highly likely. But you got these EMAs right here on the higher time frame chart. You got V. Where the hell is my VWAP at? I got the wrong VWAP on this thing. Give me a second. Let me see where VWAP's at. I got the session VWAP and not the week. Okay. All right. So, I mean, that's a good sign right here. That means that volume is increasing. You got the weekly VWAP sloping to the upside as well. So, I mean, we could see that move down, but unless we see the 200 and the VWAP start to curl down, I think we see a bounce here, and I think we see a continuation to the upside based on how the chart is structured and based on how the EMAs are set up, because we're still making higher lows and we're still making higher highs. So we are trending. We are trending. And just because we get a pullback down to the bottom of this range does not make it bearish. It's a bearish move, but the bulls can easily come back into this area and buy it right back up. This thing doesn't become bearish until we break 240. Until we break down to break past and hold and close underneath 240 is not bearish. Same thing happened right here. This is actually the same thing. Like when they say that the price, like I say this shit all the time. This shit does the same thing over and over again. You shouldn't be falling for it. It is basically the same move. And it didn't become bearish until we took out that low. But then the bulls bought it right back up. They bought this thing right back up. Isn't that interesting? Not surprising at all. The market did the same thing right here. I mean, it's not surprising or anything. The bulls held that support trend line on the way up, even though we had bearish moves down. Does not make it bearish. It popped right back in and started bouncing right off that trend line. It wasn't until the bears bounced resistance at this trend line all the way up here that we finally got this drop. So, I mean, the Nasdaq kind of does the same shit over and over and over again. Okay. Yeah, obviously I've been trading the Nasdaq wrong this whole time. Like these break of the trend line and these retests, man, have I mean, if all your like if you're just a trend line trader, trading the Nasdaq is kind of easy. I mean, she respects trend lines. She respects these trend lines, and she likes to trap these bears underneath it. I mean, you can't sit here and say that this thing is not reacting to this trend line right here, because look at the price action. Look at it. You got a break of this trend line, and you can see the bears piling right into this thing, and then the bulls shooting price right back up, and then you got this short squeeze right back into or right back above the trend line, where not only do they short squeeze back above it, they pull back and find support perfectly right there and do this. It looks like, let me project this out into the future a little bit. All right. So this, let me see where this is even coming from. So this is, so 527, that was January 19th. That was their low of day. And you can see that they broke underneath it, and then they came back and used this low of day as support. You can see that this is where they broke structure to the downside, used it as resistance. They came back and used it as support, turned around and used it as resistance. And look at this resistance. So that 525, 527 level, it looks like that's a significant level right now. Got a break below it. They gapped down. They came up. I mean, that is not a coincidence right there. That is definitely not. You got a stop run literally at this level, and then price coming right back, right down, and it's small. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. You got price literally rejecting at that line right there and coming all the way back down. So I wonder if they're going to come back and use this as support. I'm going to keep an eye at around like 527, 525. Keep an eye on that level. Same thing with the ES. I mean, this is basically identical to the Nasdaq with this little trend line. They came and they used it as resistance. They used their market last week's close as resistance once, twice, three, four times. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for this area as well. 665, because there's nothing but buy stops above this level. You got one, two, three, four rejections from this area. So there's four levels of buy stops above that high. So if the bulls tap into this thing, we will see a stop run. But that's 69, 87, 87, possibly 90. I'm going to keep my eye on as well. 87, 90. Keep my eyes on that. Mm. Kind of crazy. I feel exactly the same way. I absolutely hate trading the ES, but when it comes to easy, safe money, the ES, I mean, there is It's making Nasdaq like moves. I mean, this one leg down was, what is it? The high on that? The high was 67. The lowest that was 38. So what? That's like what, a 30, 29, hold on, 67, 38. Yeah, like a 29-point move right there on the ES. The ES is a mover now. She's a mover now. 64. I mean, this was a 10-point range. And then the bulls came right back. The bears broke, they came back, and they rejected it. All right, right now, so you can see that the bears are trying to break that range, but the bulls are holding it. We'll see if we get a stop run right now. Let's actually watch that on the Nasdaq. I don't care for the ES. Don't ask me a stupid question like that. You know, this is not financial advice. Before I talk about this topic, this is not financial advice, and you should not be putting your money in things that you do not understand or are not willing to lose. But with that said, so I've been keeping my eyes on this Trump coin. I really have. I don't think that this thing is meant to die. This thing went all the way to what, 77, whatever it went to around there. And it came down to 17. Well, right now, currently, is sitting at $17. It's currently sitting at $17. I don't want to buy it now. I kind of want to see if it gets down to 10. I would feel comfortable buying $100 worth at $10. If I lose $100, I'm not going to cry about that. And that's my approach when it comes to trading crypto anything. I would prefer to get into it before it even touches a dollar. And I will only put money that I'm not going to cry about if I'm wrong into it. I'm not going to put millions of dollars into a meme coin. All crypto is basically hype. That's the only thing that really makes it move is hype. And once that hype dies down, you get a big dump and a big consolidation. And it can consolidate for years. So please don't be like one of those people that put millions of dollars into Trump's coin as that thing was shooting up, knowing that it's a pump and dump, and then said that it was a scam. No, a lot of people made money from that coin. It was not a scam. A lot of people made a lot of money from that coin. It's if you're going to sit here and chase it at its highs, well, where is it at? And it's not like it's not understandable. I mean, if you trade the Nasdaq, you know it's impulsive to do so. I mean, if you're a Nasdaq trader, you know when the Nasdaq starts running, it's almost an impulse to just get in and hope that it keeps going. But from what I've learned and from what I observed from the Nasdaq, it does pull back. It gets enough bulls in, and then it pulls back and stops them out. And it's always after that pullback that's when you get in. And even though I know this, I still do it. Even though I know it, I will still chase the Nasdaq sometimes, even though I can just wait for the pullback and get a better entry. Uh, mm. Well, $16 is holding right now. I mean, right now, this coin, if you're scalping this coin, I mean, the price action is decent. I mean, it is decent. Like the price action is decent. It's definitely decent. It's rejecting at the 200 EMA. It's double topping. It's breaking structure. You're making a retest and it's dumping even further. And it's pumping right back up into areas of resistance and dumping right back down. I mean, the price action is pretty decent. Yeah, it double topped here, dropped, got a big drop right here. I don't know if you can short sell crypto. I mean, I'm not that deep into it. I don't know if you can short sell crypto, but if you can, I mean, that's obviously the move here. Sell the pops. I mean, I like with Bitcoin, you would rarely see me buy Bitcoin. And I'm talking about Bitcoin futures. I wait for the pops and I short this thing. And I make so much money shorting Bitcoin futures. This is why I love this instrument because it's, I mean, yeah, the market will short more often than it actually goes up, even though it's in a bullish, even though it's in a, how do I want to say this? Even though it would be in an uptrend, you'll make more money shorting the pops as it goes up. As it trends up, it makes so much money shorting the pops. And I'm starting to see that all crypto is like that in general because there's so much fear and greed in crypto. And that's what fuels all shorts, fear and greed. Because as soon as somebody sells out, as soon as we get a break of structure down, everybody's selling out of their position. And the market just keeps going down. I'm also keeping my eyes on the I did buy some Melania, I apologize. Some Melania coin at what, $3, 350? I bought some. I think I bought $50 worth of it, $60 worth of it. I'm looking to add into that if this thing gets underneath a dollar. If it gets to a dollar or underneath the dollar, I'll probably put $50 more into that and just hold it. And my whole investment would be $110. I really want to get in underneath the dollar. When Melania first dropped her coin, I think it was at 30 cents when I saw it, or maybe I think it was at 30 cents, I think. And for whatever reason, it was on every platform except for uh what is this thing called? Moonshot. It may have been on Moonshot, because I was looking for the name, but as I was frantically trying to find ways to deposit money into the other platform before it finally appeared on Moonshot. I didn't know that all I had to do was just copy the address of the coin, put it in the search bar, and that's how it pops up. Um, that lesson right there kind of cost me an early entry into that damn coin. I think it only got the $12, I think. If I was able to get like a good decent amount of coins at 30 cent, 50 cent even, man, life-changing money if you got in early on that coin. Uh, as I was trying to put money into the accounts, uh, I swear these little platforms and their little security checks. And then on top of their security checks, like it didn't even work. I was stuck on as I was trying because it asked me to verify the money that I was putting into the account with my ID and all that other crap. And at first, it didn't want to take my ID, and then it didn't want to take my face, and then it went back to not taking my ID. And I was like, dude, what the hell is going on? But I think maybe because everybody was trying to do it, that's probably why it wasn't working. Because everybody was scrambling if you didn't already have money on the platform. But mm, mm, mm. I mean, either I'm gonna wake up minus $500 or I'm gonna be up 1,800. So. Mm. Hey, what's up, Pluto? You said the. Hold on. Are you talking about the daily chart for the Trump coin? The Trump coin? Is that what you want to see the daily chart for? The Trump coin? Uh, daily chart. Yeah, there you go. Uh, it's crazy. This coin was made like what 18 days ago, I think. Let me actually look at this and see when this coin was made. Okay, now it's not showing me, and I'm not gonna really take the time to really look at this thing to look for it. Because I know it was like a couple of days before the inauguration, so January 18th. Mhm. So yeah, anybody that got caught up in this pump, unfortunately, if you bought the top, yeah, unfortunately. But you should kind of know better than that. This is a meme coin, so we'll see. Like I said, I am hoping for this thing to get down like to possibly $10, maybe five, and I'll just get some. Yeah. Mm. Tab is muted. Hmm. Hmm. So this guy says Arbus on the Thinkable Bookmap chat. He says he put everything he made off of Palantir today into puts because his analysis is just that great. $12K on Nasdaq, huh? Dude, if we get a drop back down to 12K, that would be absolutely ridiculous. There's no way. There's no way. There is no way we drop all the way back down to 12K. I mean, honestly, I mean, there's really no reason why we even touch 22K or even 20K. When the all-time high right now is what 22,450. But if we go all the way back down to 12K, that would be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't think we get a drop like that. Because I mean, even though we trade this thing through prop firms, uh, this is a lot of power for people's money. Unless they're well positioned into a short and they're out of all their longs, this thing is not dropping. Not to 12K. You got firms that got a lot of money tied up into this market, and a drop all the way down to 12,000. That would be absolutely crazy. But like I said, the move up was crazy. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, tariffs can't be that bad. I mean, I really wouldn't see why anybody would be that fearful of tariffs, especially since we've already had a Trump presidency where he's done all this. This is not something new. He's not doing anything new. So it's like, why are market participants behaving so fearful when they hear the word tariff when he did this his first term? Have a good night, kind of crazy. Looks like the Bulls are holding this range at least for now. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if we see a move back up, but I think I think we're gonna see a lot of chop tonight before we see a move in any direction. We could be going back. Okay, so I've kind of noticed different forms of price action. It seems like we kind of been cycling through it. Um, if we see a lot of movement in pre-market, then we usually don't see it in the New York session. If we see little to no movement in the pre-market, then we see all the movement in the New York session where it just trends, super trends. If it consolidates and does nothing in the pre-market, and then the first break of that high or low, that's where we just see the market just trend. Or we see a big dump at the open, and then that's all the bears get, and we just trend higher. We've been having so many trend days. It's like now the market is addicted to having trend days. I can count on my hand how many range days that we've had last year. We had probably about 5 range days last year, and all the rest of the days were trending days. I mean, going into this year, I mean, we've had a trend today on both sides. It trended down, then it trended right back up. I mean, but technically, this would be a range, technically, but it's still a trend because even though we did get this move down, price did trend higher. It didn't take out, I don't think it took out, yeah, I think it did. No, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't take out the high, or did it? Let me look at this. Let me make sure I'm saying. All right, so that high right there, that high is at 61. So it's saying 69, but anyway. But we've definitely been having trend days more often than not. Ugh. Maybe just waited for that 37. What is that? 420. Right back up to that high, 433, and then beyond. Mm, maybe did that 65, 40. Mm. Then it came right back down. Mm. Yeah, DK, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. January has definitely been a challenge to trade. Unlike January of last year, where the market knew exactly what it was doing. Uh, Actually, let me look at this real quick, because maybe so a trick that we was using last year was uh, the CFTC data, but because what was that dude's name? Aaron Carter. When he died, he disrupted for whatever reason. They're not keeping up with this damn report anymore. It's like 2 weeks behind. Yeah, they're still in January's. We're still in January's. And that's upsetting. It's really upsetting because last year all we had to do was look at the CFTC data to see what the real money is doing in the market. But this thing is 2 weeks behind. So there's really no point collecting this data until they catch it up, if they even catch it up. I mean, I don't think they catch this up. I don't know how they would, unless they just do 2 weeks and just catch this thing up. But this thing is down 2 weeks. But yeah, actually, yeah, I don't want to show that. Oof. Yeah, that would just kind of be overkill. I wouldn't collect all that data. I would not collect all that data. Okay. I mean, they're holding this little low right here for whatever reason. The bulls are holding this thing. This would definitely be a good night to just sit on your hands and just enjoy the sleep because being up waiting for this thing to move, you could be up all night. Hmm. You can definitely be up all night. 612.50. 12.50. Okay. Oof, I'm definitely going to bed after this. Tariffs. Is there something going on with tariffs right now? Hmm. All right. Joe Rogan. Huh? What an age we live in. What an age we live in. Hmm. Well, well, DK, actually, if you're still there, so I guess that's a. I mean, we ain't doing nothing else. what have you been finding challenging about this market? And I mean, we all know it's choppy, but is it hard to adjust from the mega bullishness that we've seen to now we're getting a dash of bearishness now? Is it hard to make that adjustment? Or do you find it challenges is a better way of saying it? Do you find that challenging to make that adjustment that now we're getting bearish moves down? Yeah, that's probably, yeah, they already bounced it right there. Yeah, so 550, we did see that bounce. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that, DK. Uh, Germa, I'm using NinjaTrader 8 as my trading platform. And what you see on the right side of the screen is Top Step X DOM, their time and sales and their tilt indicator. But that's the setup that I'm using. Mm. Yeah, no problem. So you're saying the fib levels don't hold, the fear kicks in, PTSD. Uh, oh, there goes that stop run. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that stop run. That is beautiful. I love seeing the technicals play out. I just love seeing it. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, DK, especially on the Nasdaq. I mean, that's definitely, yeah, because we all know that the Nasdaq the Nasdaq can keep going and going and going. I mean, shit, the bears found that shit out today, unfortunately. Right here, as soon as they broke above this range, it did not come back. It did not come back. Actually, the real short squeeze happened. Where was it at? Because I was looking at it. Yeah, yeah. It happened right here. It happened right here. You can see the bears trying to short this thing and try to hold the rotation down, but instead of holding, they got squeezed out of their position. And if you did not stop out of this thing and if you held it, this thing, yeah, it took your account away from you. Um, what are you okay? So, what are you using for fib levels? Let's actually start there. How are you drawing your fibs? Because there's definitely the correct way to draw it and the wrong way to draw it. If what I've found, and this is just my opinion, if it works for you, continue to use it. But my opinion, if you're drawing your fibs on trending days, I find that those levels are usually not correct. You got to draw your fibs on range days. Or if it's ranging in the pre-market, I find that the fibs work there. But if you draw it the high and low of a trending market, you're going to get the wrong results. But those are just my findings, and that's why I usually just look for, and this is a good example, the high and low of a range, not the high and low of this drop right here. That would be absolutely crazy. I'm not saying that it probably won't work. Actually, let's look at that. Uh, I don't know. Are you using fib retracements or are you using fib extensions? Actually, let me just put this on a clean chart. Put this on a clean chart, see if I can find one. Okay, so yeah, so let's just do the high and low. You're doing extension? Okay, so extensions. How are you drawing it? So are you okay, so are you drawing it like this? Because I know a lot of people like to go to the low, the high, and then it pulls back like right here. I know a lot of people do it that way. I draw my extensions like that as well. That's interesting. That is interesting. Well, if you drew your extensions from this low, this pivot, huh? It made a 200% move and dropped. Isn't that interesting? So now I feel more confident in with my where my limits at, because the 100% is literally where we got the short squeeze higher. It made a 100% move to the 200%, and it should make a 100% move right back down. So we could see 500, maybe. Who knows? That's interesting. So, yeah. And use the 4 hour. Okay. Yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, that's probably like the best time frame to use it, honestly. Yeah, but y'all guys see, I mostly stay honestly, like I said, I think the tick chart that I'm using, I think I'm trading the equivalent of a minute chart. So I make all my trading decisions on a minute chart. I do reference a higher time frame chart, but I mean, because I'm just trading the structure intraday, I'll just mark where this is my higher time frame chart right here. I just mark, okay, this is an area, that's an area, blah blah blah, and just mostly focus on and trade on the smaller time frame. All right. I mean, that's looking like, man, that is a stop run right there. We'll see if the Bulls hold this. We'll see if they Bulls hold it, because this is where it happened. We'll see if they hold it. We'll see. Mm. And yeah, I know how easy it is to go on tilt, especially with the Nasdaq. Um, I mean everybody. I mean, you trade the Nasdaq, you've gone tilt and you've blown it. Like shit, I blew my PA account. I broke my rules, and the Nasdaq just has that power. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. I mean, the Nasdaq only has the power that you give it, but man, it's just so easy just to slide down that tilt slide. I mean, especially when it stops you out and then it looks like it's still going, like it'll go in your direction, so you just double down on it. Sometimes it works, and then sometimes it's a fake out. Mm. Yeah, it definitely can be DK. Definitely. That's why I have this rule in my funded account, and sometimes I break it. I mean, if I see a good setup on the Nasdaq, I'm gonna take it. My heart is going to be beating because I'm breaking my rules, but um, I try to stay on the ES in my funded accounts, and just have the Nasdaq gets me to the dance, but I don't I change partners when I get there. The ES is just much more easier to manage. Like I continuously say, as long as the ES sticks to its core values and it doesn't completely turn into the NQ, the ES will always be where I make my money from funded accounts. If I had a personal account, I damn sure would not trade the Nasdaq until I built a cushion. But I'm starting off in the ES because I was talking to my trading partner about this earlier. Uh, and because I trade the NASDAQ, I also make this mistake from time to time. I make the mistake of projecting the NASDAQ onto the ES, which honestly you should never do. The ES is sound. It is sound. It's not going to run highs and lows unless that's the direction it wants to go. You look at an ES chart, you can see it perfectly double tops, double bottom. If it does run past the high, it's not going more than 2 to 5 points past the high unless that's the direction it's trying to go. You see a break of structure, you know that you're on the wrong side. I was telling him that on one E-mini, 11 points is $550, but 11 points is a trade. You can have a 11-point stop on the ES, but that's kind of overkill. I do have an 11-point stop on the ES, and I barely use any of it in a trade. Any of it. I know that if I'm using more than 5 points of that drawdown, then I should be looking to try to get out of it as close to break even as possible. Because the ES does not move like that. Or at least for right now, it doesn't. So, and then I was telling them if you're trading if you're only trading 5 micros, 22 points is overkill. Overkill on the ES. 22 points of drawdown on the ES is absolutely crazy. Crazy. It's crazy. But if you trade the Nasdaq, it's a habit. But it will be crazy, but it's a habit. So, yeah, I still make that mistake. I'll look at an area on the chart and be like, damn, that shit will probably run through that and stop me out. And I come back to the screen the next day and see that not only did that level work out, I would have had a decent amount of money just sitting in my account waiting for me, smiling at me as I look at my P&L. But instead, I project the NASDAQ onto her and be like, damn, that was a good entry right there. And I should have taken it, or I should have taken it. But so I told him not to beat himself up about that because I do it too, especially if you trade the NASDAQ. But if you're just a pure ES trader, then you're taking all the setups. You know that you're not going to lose that much money unless you're being absolutely foolish. Like you really have to work hard to lose money on ES. You have to go super tilt on ES to lose money. If you're trading it correctly, let me add that as well. If you're trading the edges of the ES and staying away from the middle, that much drawdown is absolutely crazy. The ES loves the 5 numbers. I mean, you can see that a lot of these highs and lows are around these 5s. I mean, it loves that number 5. And if you get in at a 5 level, 60s, 65, 70, 75, you're going to 9 times out of 10 be around the top. You can see that, these high low days are like 147, 163, 153, 135. If you get in at 5, you take your couple points of drawdown and you're usually on the right side. Usually. So that's a little trick for ES traders. Just look for that 5 level and try to get in as close as possible to it. Okay. But all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Obviously, the price action was super slow. I'm pretty sure that the price action is going to pick up as soon as London steps into the building and they get into the market themselves. So I would go to bed. I would. That's actually what I'm doing. We're not getting any big moves, at least right now in the market. So I would take this time to recoup, refresh, and yeah, yeah, that's definitely right. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. But all right, guys. Honestly, okay. So I guess I'll say this before I get off. I'll set limits. I will definitely set limits, but I try not to trade this session either. I try not to trade the extended trading hours either. But I'll definitely set limits. Because as I said earlier in the stream, the market does, I mean, even if it's low volume, even if it's grinding down, I mean, it's going to grind down into a previous area of support. It's going to find support and it's going to move regardless of how much volume's in the market. It's not going to crash down unless that's exactly what it wanted to do in the first place. You can see that that's not a good example. Actually, where was I looking at? Like right here. Like this happened last night. You see how this thing touched this area of support last night where they broke out and the bulls bought the pullback. Even with all this bearish aggression, it stopped dead in an area of previous liquidity in a previous area where the bulls broke out of the structure. And the bears could not push it past that, even with all this bearish aggression, and they got clapped. So uh, I say that because that was one of the biggest hurdles to break myself out of, about saying I'm not going to trade during this session. I'm not going to trade during that session, because you just don't know which session the market is going to move into an area of previous support and resistance. So I just set limits. I was able to catch this move last night. Oh yeah, make sure y'all guys are checking out the NA meetings. The NA meetings are designed to help you. I'm looking at the chart, looking at areas where I believe the market is going to go, and this level, this range right here, was definitely in last night's NA meeting. And if you were able to capitalize on that, you caught this big pump, or at least a piece of it. So make sure you guys are checking that out. And with that said, we'll come back tomorrow morning, and peace out, everybody. Peace.